What's the WH? What's the E at the end for it?
I thought it was like the environment, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I keep saying when I grew up, it was IHS.
WHS, excellent.
I'm assuming that bus driver on the way back from SCG was hoping he had that camera.
Okay, mate. Okay,
that's a better one. Track who's like inebriated or past the tipping point.
That's on the RSA that was serving me alcohol, mate. That's on. Get out of here.
Welcome to our campfire. Good to have a big contingent today, actually. 5 people. It's pretty good. We've got a packed episode. Lots of things to discuss. So let's kick it off with the intros, eh? So first up, the Fijian star who's just become a first-time dad. He's using the podcast to escape nappy duties. Is he going to be in trouble? Probably just a tad. It's Neil Maharaj, everyone.
Hey!
What do you want
Another
to do?
Fijian.
Oh, sorry, I thought I wanted to say something. Am I meant to respond? Am I meant to be cleaning nappies? I don't know.
Yeah. It's all right, bro. Another Fijian, a car obsessor who can name a Camry from a skyline. A man known to conquer many things, but alas, not the simple white wine. It's Ash Samuels.
Go play.
A moment that just still haunts him. They say City Rail has never recovered since. All right, another new dad. When one isn't enough, you go for 2. He's well known to throw down a beer, but better known to spew. Shaz Shah.
Hey, fellas.
And finally, a man who's found a new obsession in Lycra. The kind of man you'd want advertising your new Nissan Micra. It's Ab Chandra.
Hey.
Welcome.
Woo!
Welcome. How are we, boys? You excited for this little biz session today?
Yeah, pretty keen.
It's good.
I hope you brought your wallets to invest. I hope you've asked your partners.
Put some Bitcoin. That helps.
Neil's going to pop out the Luna.
Oh, the Luna, classic Luna.
So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to have a bit of a different focus today. We'll go through these business ideas. We'll watch a video, look at the business idea, hear about it, and then we'll just riff about why the business idea is good, why it'll work, or why it's a terrible idea, or why it won't work. Gotcha? You guys ready?
Yep.
I can't hear you.
Send it. How would you guys like getting a personalised book from your kids or your grandkids, or from the parents or grandparents down to the kids, which you can read to them for a particular occasion, be it Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, whatever, but it's personalised, it's got your names, has a lot of feelings attached to it. I think the idea has low overheads, minimum costs, all about digital marketing, getting it out to the people, get it known, and, the best thing is, it's a lasting memory.
I like it. Tough to go first, Shaz, but unfortunately you were number 1 on the WhatsApp. So
that's all right. Had to
open the batting. I love that this book has feelings attached to it. So that's a plus, bro. For all of us who are dads, let's riff.
Is this a digital book or is this a
No, it's a hard copy.
high copy book?
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you heard of Wanderbly?
No. I was going to ask, like, who writes it as well. Like, so if you want to if you can elaborate more on your plan.
Yeah, so it's basically templatized. So say for example, you've just become a new dad now, and say, you want to, like, when he's a toddler, and you want to give him a book or he wants to buy you a book for Father's Day, and literally all you got to do is punch your name and your kid's name, and there's already a template for the book.
Okay. So the story's already.
The story's already there. So all
yeah.
you've got to do is get like a graphic designer and stuff to just design everything, and the story and the template's already there. So you just literally plugging the names in, and then that hard copy gets printed out, and then it gets sent to your home, and then literally you read that book to your toddler or vice versa. And it's all personal.
How's that different to what's in the market there already?
Nothing different. It's just that company has a monopoly.
I think what Shaz is trying to say, it's going to be locally made in Australia, supporting local jobs. So that's why.
How old are the kids?
And they're like $40 a book. So, and that's the thing, because they've got a monopoly on the whole system at the moment, like there's nothing else that's out there.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think what we can do is you can make it even more personalized, right? So, like, I think the books that I've seen, and the books that we have for my daughter, the only thing you can really do is the name. You can't really create an avatar or anything like that. So it'd be good to have like an interactive piece to sort of give the kid that hair color, the skin color, any features. So because you know how you can get you can actually make dolls now. So I don't know if you've seen that. There's a website where you can personalize dolls. So if someone's got an injury or disability, you can really personalize it to them. So there's a doll that looks like them. So I think they're sort of following the same concept. I think that that will be quite striking.
And all you need is someone that's good at graphic design, and you just sort of create these sort of options, and then people just choose. What color skin do you want? What color hair do you want?
I think that's a bit of a game changer in that aspect.
Yeah, that's right. And the biggest thing is, A, they've got a monopoly. B, it's $40, but for me, I bought it anyways because I'm like, that's an everlasting memory that I'm going to have. Because when he's a 18, 20-year-old, he's going to look back and be like, oh, it's got my name on it. I'm reading this book to my dad.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty seasonal.
But not just the name, but not just the name, but the character looks like them too. Yeah,
that's right. So I thought it was a good idea. Only because the company's got a bit of a moat. No, it's not challenged. Now
hearing more about it, I actually like a couple of things. One, templatized, but I think it'd be really good if it was templatized and customizable, where you can actually go. Maybe you can change the ending a little bit to suit it. And the other part too, as I've said, you can have your the visualizations and everything like that. You can adjust the colors and everything like that.
Avatar.
You can build it out that way. So obviously, the scene with a boy holding a balloon, whatever it is, you can change the balloon color and you can do that, and that'll print out. But I think another part is you could actually, when you try probably create community based, you can actually do content sharing. So I could post a story template if people like it that can also go into mine. So you can actually create that community based, not just going, here's only 5 set of stories. But you can have a content kind of contribution as well. So maybe some people will be top writers or top whatever it is, and then people are buying your books or your stories.
Yeah, no, indeed.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sounds good. But guys, check it out. Go on the website. Just when you check it out, you'll get a better idea. In terms of
you've already started it. You've already started the company.
No. The company that I'm sort of referring to, that's that I've sort of got the idea from.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any reasons why this won't work?
Well, he just mentioned a big company that's already got it. So, I mean, switching to a few little tweaks. They've already got the supply chain to print the books, and they've got the logistics to send it, right? So pretty fast. And they've got the database behind people who've already bought. So I think you've already got some advantages there. It's not to say you can't replicate it. It's just there's a couple of steps ahead.
So, and you have to probably invest in a huge marketing thing to try and get the alternative.
Yeah.
That's probably why I wouldn't work.
Or a point of difference. You guys said, the personalization is probably a good one. Cool. We're going to leave that there. We're going to go to idea number 2. So this is from our dear friend, Hubert.
When a guy's planning his wedding, what does he want to do? He wants to rock up a nice, beautiful car. And what better than some American muscle? Get yourself a nice 1960s Mustang. There's always demand for wedding cars. The wedding's always happening. Take some bookings, make some cash. Great thing about it is you're getting an asset that's beautiful, but only appreciating value.
Love this video.
Probably the first is
I thought he was going to talk about Chad when he was talking about American muscle. Your own Chad.
He can be less intimidating when he's trying to sell something. Buy my product.
Can you believe that guy's a finance accountant guy, right? Oh man, can't stereotype these days.
I like that he had to hide in his garage to give us the idea and whisper it.
I think Ford cut him a deal with his Ford jumper as well. We bought him Fords, and his wife just came back from America. This guy. We're in Australia, mate. We're in Australia.
Well, what do you guys think? Buying an appreciating asset, renting it out?
Look, for me, I'm not much or big into cars, so I wouldn't know. I guess there's a few other people here and this would know a little bit better on that, but there's a lot of options out there, and I think that's a pretty good thing. My brother-in-law just bought one too as well, and he knows this guy who was one of his friends. He actually does exporting from the US and appreciates in value and hires it out too. So there's a market there. I think you just got to have it and be in it and be having the time to actually do it. But you guys know more about cars, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know nothing either, so I'm going to opt out of this one.
It's one of the. It's after you, mate. Yeah.
Just from what I've seen, like on Instagram and just my personal experience, just there's so much competition out there already based on that sort of stuff with supercars, muscle cars, even motorbikes and things like that for events. So that's quite like the tough market to break into from my perspective. It's just a tough competition that you've got locally.
Yeah, cost of running with fuel prices too with a muscle car.
So my take on that is that's one of those ventures where you need money to make money. Exporting it and getting it here, maintaining it, even fixing it up, it's not. You need a fair bit of capital, and I feel like the returns on it will be quite slow. And the appreciating in value, I think it's one of those things. It's not a guarantee.
It's not. So I hired a Lamborghini for my wedding for 4 hours. I paid $900 cash, right? So I should have expected a receipt, but that's the rate that was going for. That was 4 hours. So and that was a weekend job on a Saturday, right? So the bloke's making $1,000 a week just off the bat, and the car's only cost them $300,000 to buy. In this case, a secondhand Mustang 66 would cost you anywhere from 40s to 60s. 60s being a pretty decent, good-looking one.
Yeah.
It's not a heap. It's not a heap of cash, but the other side of it, you could pay that off within a year. And it's just maintenance really that you can do, but you got to make sure that's not self-drive. I think if you make it a self-drive thing, you can get the car destroyed. So if you cut your insurances and everything else, you'll be sorted.
I think vintage cars have that leg up in over modern cars. Is that like, when you rent out your Lamborghini, it's after a couple of years, there's going to be a new one. So everyone's looking at that new one, whereas that classic car sort of retains its prestige. Prestige.
The other thing people don't realize, right? Classic cars, they look awesome, right? A lot of them don't even have AC and stuff, right? So things we take granted for on a hot summer's day Aussie wedding. Could you imagine?
I don't think they care about that.
I'd be asking for the aux cord, bro.
The wife's in a huge wedding dress or whatever it is, and just sweating away. You'd be like, damn, like those things get hot in there. So
yeah.
I think this idea probably works is if you like cars and you got a car on the side and you want to make a little bit of side cash, it works. It doesn't work as a business where you're in it to make money, I feel.
Yeah, like what Abby said, with that one, you need to start off with a big capital. To sort of get anything returned, and it's a slow return, and it builds slowly over time. So it's not like a rapid growth.
So back to the garage for the next idea,
All right, idea number 3.
Everyone loves a home cooked meal. So my business idea has got to do with Uber, but for home food. Your mum's food, your neighbor's food, your cultural food, anything that you can find in your neighborhood. Ordering Uber Eats instead of from restaurants, you can actually do it from home. So trying to enjoy people's home cooked meals and having the similar structure that you would as Uber Eats does from an order perspective, but privatizing the food, I'd say. So you have all these kind of Instagram chefs and everything like that, but putting your kind of hobbies to your side hustles, being able to order meals, pre-order meals, or anything that's left over as well, and try out the local cuisine. That would be my idea.
Nice. I'm glad when you said your mum, you didn't go into a your mum joke, bro.
Why were you slamming the table when you were talking? You're like, this is the meal. What's wrong with you?
He had a butcher's knife in his hand. He was cutting the chicken as he was talking about it. He was
getting the tin mutton ready.
You didn't need a knife for tin mutton.
Chew the can.
That poor table's copped a hammering. But I like this idea. I think there's definitely market for it. I mean, we stressed it out in like a neighborhood app, and I've always thought when I can't find the foods that I like around me, I know there's people that live around me who make those foods. There's 100% an opportunity, especially as people cook local foods. Some of the foods my mum cooks is always leftovers, and I know there's people down the street that are willing to pay dollars for it. And also, like, you take that out, right? There's people sometimes that go hungry. If you build something as a part of this app where you have to give free meals to, then you kind of make it like a charity into a business and incentivize people to be part of it. But I love it. Great idea.
I love the idea, man. When I saw that video, I was like, wow, that's such a great idea. The only one issue I have is like, isn't there like food safety laws attached to,
literally
this?
About to bring this up.
The one thing that sticks out is red tape around that. Obviously the OHS and all that kind of stuff too. I think that's your biggest thing. The other part is to, like, from a model and delivery setup, you can probably just duplicate the Uber Eats kind of model, find a platform that does a light version of it in that sense. You can make it all happen, but it is literally the red tape around it. So what if you eat something food and it goes bad with someone or anything like that? How do you get around it? That's probably the research element. But when you look at other stuff too, you can still order off people through Facebook Marketplace, everything like that. So there's kind of the hybrid and overlap there, but it's just more so now when you actually commercialize it and you're making money out of it on a platform on a community basis, how do you do it? You can push the onus back onto individuals like Airbnb and everything like that. But
well, I think even with Facebook Marketplace and things, I know we're diverging a little bit, but the person who buys it is still protected by the consumer laws to some degree, right? That whatever you're advertising is actually what you're advertising. So you can't falsify advertising. I think this one's a touch different.
And also, like, you know, like all those sort of small Indian shops where they sell like home cooked meals and stuff like that. Like, the reason why they fly under the radar is because they're, you know, low scale. They're not sort of getting the attention. So as opposed to if it's getting heavily marketed, then, you know, the regulators are like, okay, you know, where's your food safety certificate? You know, where's it getting cooked? Does it meet all the, you know, GMP practices and that sort of stuff like that? I guess that's the only sort of big red flag that I've got.
I know there's food safety laws. I would sign a waiver if I could buy food from the neighbor next door.
No, but to do a course, my brother and my dad have done this. So, like, they've done a food preparation course as part of that side gig that my brother's got. I think it was $100, and you do a food preparation course and you get a certificate that lasts you a year. Look, you can upload that to our website. So I don't see any compliance stuff to be an issue. That's upon the individual that wants to sign up and provide meals, because at the end of the day, you're getting compensated for this. So I don't see that to be the biggest problem. I see the thing of, well, if I go to my mum, hey, mum, what are you going to cook for tomorrow? She'll tell me tomorrow. She's not going to know in advance. She picks and chooses whatever she wants. So then how do we put that at the app? Is it like 20 minutes before you just like, hey, I got
Let's see what's around. Yeah.
I got 2 kilos of dal left over. Anyone want to buy it? Like, how do you do that? Because if I tell my mum, hey, let's plan out a meal for a week, I get slapped across the head.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think everything like that you see on Uber Eats and things like that, they're all sort of preset menus that have already been loaded up into the app. So how do you frequently change it?
Well, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have heard of like the tiffin service that all the Indians do.
Yeah.
Very similar to that, because again, like they don't have like a set, what they kind of do, but they don't, where every day they've got like a different menu that they'll post up on Facebook or something like that, or even on the website they'll say, okay, today we're making this meal, tomorrow it's going to be this meal. So it could be something similar to that, where they can just upload it on the day off and say, yep, today this meal's getting cooked.
It comes down to behaviors, right? So the way I look at it, you got some people who always post what they cooked on whatever Instagram or Facebook and everything like that. Now they can choose to say, oh, I can make this put in orders request via this website or whatever it is, or alternatively, they can, have a set day where they do orders. The other part is where I'm thinking behaviors is we're going to have leftovers anyway. I'm going to throw it out. Or maybe if someone wants it to pick it up in my area, someone else is going, oh, we should get something to order. I'll check the app. Well, someone's actually made some biryani. Is like, might as well just go pick that up. It's around the corner. Mm-hmm. You can do some stuff like that because otherwise it's going to get thrown out. It doesn't change anyone's behavior except it just goes, hey, here's another step in the process of thinking before you throw it out, throw it in the bin. So it's not always going to be, mum has to cook another kilo of stuff just so we can give it out. Maybe pre-ordered, or maybe, I'm better throw it. Someone pick it up, $1, free, $100, doesn't matter. Or you can actually just maybe request it. So it comes down to how people want to use it and how, they want to be pretty much selling their food on there or want to be managing their excess food on there as well. So that's the way I thought about it. Even if it's just a marketplace, people get together, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be an Uber Eats and a delivery partnership comes into it. That's probably later on. You'd probably start it on a small scale in a certain neighborhood where people want to try foods here and there. But that's the way I thought about it. I think there's an appetite for it. There is. I'd love to have something like that to be like, that Vietnamese family there, they're always cooking something. I wonder if they're on app or whatever it is. And then find who in my area cooks what. Request.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's a good food for thought.
All right.
Hey guys, everyone's getting creative and experimental these days with beers. We introduce Banjo beers. Produced, packaged, supplied locally, not dissimilar to Bloke in the Bar or Cattleman's Brewery or Drink West, advertised through the podcast. We use our own streams to promote it. We try and get a case in every corporate fridge in Sydney, and we ask Hubert to call upon Justin and give us a few taps at when he leagues.
Create your own beer.
My first observation is was he wearing a Spider-Man outfit? I think he's come back from watching over the city.
journalist by day, Jonathan Nixie by night.
He watched back again. He's wearing a Spider-Man outfit for sure.
My critique of this is there's so many beers popping up now that this will be just another beer. So unless you have a strong brand, which what people who are releasing beers are doing, they have a strong brand behind it first, because the marketability of the beer is much easier to do after that. So until we do that, no one knows who the hell Banjos are, but always up for a new beer.
Yeah, it's just really marketing heavy because, like you said, there's just way too many out there, and to get yourself out there, it's just heavy marketing.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest issue we got, because like very rarely would you well, let me rephrase. Most of the time that you are drinking beer, it's usually at a pub or at a venue or something like that. Unless you're doing a podcast, then you might be able to get one up. But it's quite difficult. I mean, like, most people select their beer, upon visuals, and like every time you distill, then you send it to a bottle or something like that. It's usually bottom shelf in a fridge. So. Marketing can only get you somewhere, but a lot of it's quite tough.
I think from my end, I like it from the concept of being a novelty. If I was to do a party and have the guys over, get a white label beer and just kind of put our little Banjos thing on it, and that's where I think I would stop with it. And I don't think we're a big enough brand to be sitting there and advertising beers yet, so it's not going to get off the ground that way. But I would generally probably, I've seen some stuff on internet. You can do white label beers for your own kind of labeling. Don't know how good the beers are, but we can always obviously order some samples for tasting. But I think I'd do it for a novelty, just for some kicks and all that stuff at home. Or we'll invite you guys over and have our little Banjo Enterprises stuff. But that's about it. I don't think it's too highly competitive, and we got nothing there.
Yeah. Has anyone run any numbers to say it's highly competitive, or like? We're just anecdotally saying that. And the second part is, if we're hitting a market, let's say in Western Sydney, like, is there a brewery in Western Sydney that currently exists? Because if there isn't, and you blokes all want to go to a brewery, where do you go? And this will absolutely hit that. So you get a warehouse at Western Sydney somewhere, put a brewery in there, and you only have to supply to yourselves. So that way people come to you. You don't have to think about logistics. That's just to get your brand name out. If it works, that's the best trial method. I think there's validity in the idea. I think the logistics and stuff obviously needs to be thought through. But I think if you can do something exclusive out somewhere that people live and they haven't got anywhere to go, like for me right now, Western Sydney, there's not really a cool, big enough bar that's sporty and blokey. Like, not taking anything away from Winky Leeds.
Hubert's gonna see this. You just stab Hubert through the heart.
But imagine somewhere that's, just a bit more basic, I reckon. Just, just think about somewhere you can just chat with your mates, just have, the one brand of beers coming through. Like, they look pretty cool.
You should, I should take you to the Marsden Brew House, Ash. I think you'll like that. But I was also going to say, if you want to find a good brew around in Western Sydney, just go to the local Kiwis house.
That joke.
I can't work out what you said.
Hey, brew.
But yeah, cool idea. Always good to have another beer on the market. Next idea from our dear friend Ashley.
G'day guys, my idea is going to be a virtual camera with AI lens attached, so you can scan your workplace to identify any hazards. In this business model, a company would be subscribing just to identify any areas which could be future hazards, just to make sure you're compliant with your WHS and E. So,
my question is, who hurt you, Ash?
There's a corner of the table.
Having a bloody 1-year-old, that's what happened. Cracked his face on something today.
Unemployment rate will go through the roof because everyone's getting fired for what they're doing.
How did this problem come about?
So, workplace, that's it. I'm not going to go into more detail.
You work from home.
So in recruitment, if you do a lot of blue collar placements, you're going to scan the workplace. So someone's going to actually come and visit your site. So if I place someone in a factory, if it's not being safe, in recruitment world, actually that worker works with a recruitment agency. They don't work for the company. So we're actually liable for them. So how do you get comfort around things are safe for people? That's where the background came for. So that's the reality. Like, look, it'd be good for companies just to step up and go, if there are any hazards, and they're unaware of it, hey, just put those wires away. So it might be common sense to a lot of people, but we've got a lot of basic people in this country.
And is this like a live monitoring or just like
no? I think it's the camera. Like, you can just go around like weekly or something and just quickly whip out your phone. Let's say it's an app on your phone. Just quickly walk around and then go, oh, hey, look, that looks like something weird. Just monitor that. It might take a screenshot of it and go, hey, look, we can send it off to a back end somewhere to go, can you provide us a quick analysis?
What those real estate companies do, they've got the 3D cameras that they're placing positions and it picks up a whole 3D thing. And then you have, I guess you have standardized things. They go, okay, that looks like a table and that looks like it's only that far away. That could be an issue. But I think there's a lot of setup costs and a lot of variables in that business that could really be like, okay, this whole place is a red flag every single day. And then you'd be sitting there going, should I have to disclose this or it's tagged somewhere? And people are like, oh, fuck, this is stupid. That's I think there's a lot of that whole variables that come into play unless you have AI.
I think we're presuming this tech works. We're not questioning the tech, right?
Okay.
If this works, then I'm sure Ash isn't going to market with something that looks at dealers like WHS flag.
What's the WH? What's the E at the end for it?
I thought it was an environment. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I keep saying when I grew up, it was IHS.
WHS, excellent.
I'm assuming that bus driver on the way back from SCG was hoping he had that camera.
Okay, mate. Okay,
that's a better one. Track who's like inebriated or past the tipping point.
That's on the RSA that was serving me alcohol, mate. That's on. Get out of here.
After the City Rail delays, it's still based on Kevin's couple of rides Kevin made home on the City Rail. They're still cleaning up.
Oh, jeez.
Patrons saw waterworks that day. It was like the Singapore Sentosa, the sea lion. It's like... Maybe you go to Singapore and just catch the train to inside at 10:55 p.m. All right. Good idea.
That's more of a band.
I like it. In summary, good idea. If it works out great, you're going to lose a lot of jobs thanks to you, Ash. So. Build the economy. All right. Last idea.
My business idea is this refreshing drink we used to drink in India and every street vendor called Sathkudi, or sweet lime if you translate it to English. Why is it a great business problem? Well, we can't get it here, we can't drink it, it's amazing, but we can't find it anywhere outside of Australia. But we can find the fruit here, squeeze it, pack it up, drink it. It's a great alternative to orange juice. Imagine drinking that in the morning. Refreshing goodness. I've already got names lined up. Sweet Carol Lime or Scooty for Sathkudi.
Sweet Caroline.
Did you put that on TikTok?
Nah.
It looked like it, eh?
Sus, mate. Sus.
I can follow Park Cricket on TikTok.
Wait,
So have you guys had? It's called Mosambi or Sathkudi.
Yeah, Mosambi. It's grapefruit, right?
Sweet lime.
But I have had Mosambi like in India.
Yeah,
I thought that was just grapefruit.
No, it's sweet lime. Sweet
When
lime.
you say
fruit,
sweet lime, what do you mean, bro? Lime's sour.
Like sugar.
Yeah.
It's a type of fruit.
Can you Google
called
that
sweet
and
lime.
show
I'll
us?
show you.
'Cause
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Because I know, like, when you're sick in India, like I remember when I was a kid, like they would be like, "Oh, let's have some Mosambi juice."
If you're sick in India, you're probably from Punjab, bro.
Wow. Well played.
The good old fashioned lemonade stand, eh? Always works.
Well, this is actually
Lime.
this is one of the
Looks
reasons
like
I like.
regular lime, man.
But
That's
it's
so-
sweet, bro. When they look at you, they don't say that's a regular
I think you
Fiji.
said
They
it's
say it's a
I
sweet
thought
Fiji.
Is it lime or lemon, bro? It tastes.
It's a sweet
lemon.
sweet lime tree. Wait, let me just Google this for you.
Far out.
It's called-
We had one job.
Oh, spelled it wrong. It's called Sathkudi, right?
Can you
And
type
basically,
I thought it was 7 dogs.
Sathkudi.
It's the wrong side, bro.
Mate, this is what it's like in India. You go to a street stall, they'll have that on the side. They'll squeeze it for you fresh, put it in a cup, some ice, and give it to you.
Looks like you.
So is there any
drinks
benefit-
to stay over your house?
What?
Sorry, bro.
You making a racist joke, bro?
He went too far and he's trying to dig himself back out, but he just like,
I'm just
Mosambi.
Give me 2 bananas and let me squish it.
I'm actually in tears.
So would you market this as like a paste to hangover sort of thing, or is it just like a everyday
No, it's
in
bro.
the morning?
This is like orange juice.
Is it
know how
better
to
than
make it?
coconut water? Is it better than coconut water?
Oh, mate, I don't like coconut water, so yes.
Wow.
That's a bad.
Whoa, okay.
Hey, do you know?
Is
how
that
to
because Neil teased you?
Jeez, bro. Fijians don't have copyright on coconuts.
Mate, we created them. What are you talking about?
I'm asking. Do you know how to make it?
Yeah, you just cut the fruit and squeeze it.
But you put sugar
so
and
it's
water. Is it sugar and water
I
into
thought
it,
it was
or what
sugar
is
in
it?
there.
There's a bit of sugar sometimes to add, but it's sweet enough that you can just drink it squeezed.
So
on some
raw,
ice.
like raw. That's
You
no
squeeze
water.
the juice. You squeeze the juice out of it. Delicious.
So I think one cup, like a standard cup, would take like, let's say, what, 5?
It's the same
Limes?
as oranges, so probably 5.
They're 5. So like,
Yeah.
let's say the cost of each one is like, let's say, what, 50 cents a lime? Is that what we're talking?
Probably cheaper.
Oh, no, way
the,
cheaper
The
than
thing
that,
is,
yeah.
the thing is, we can't. I don't think it's grown in Australia. When I found it here, they've imported it.
How much is
I
a
don't know
kilo
why
of,
it's not
how much is a kilo of limes here? Like oranges. And then we just work out what the basic
Kilo
is.
of lime costs.
I thought it was like $16 a kilo.
I
I'd have to
don't
try it.
I don't do the shopping.
It's about $5 a kilo.
Oh, it's
Wow.
expensive as. But yeah, maybe the culmination of this idea is I'll find it next time we're all together, and I'll give it to you guys. And if you guys like it, you put down a 10K investment each. Thank you. Thank you for
Might as well.
contribution.
See if we can grow it here first. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Grow
I'd
it
like to
trade.
try it. Like you said, if we're not selling it here and it's good, then might as well. What's the harm, right?
But the only trouble is, like if you're not growing it here and if you're importing the fruits, then there's already packaged juices out there, like in India, that you can just import.
There's actually not, right?
I just Googled it, bro.
I mean, sorry, there's not in Australia.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like even
He's just saying
if the
export.
fruit itself is not grown in Australia.
Yeah, well, I think how you do this, and we're probably spending a bit long time on this, but you'd make this like Australian grown. Mosambi,
Australian grown Indian drink.
Yeah. I like the concept. I like the.
It would just be like my culture, bro. Born in India, grown in Australia.
Oh, so you are the coconut then you're talking about.
Sorry, go Ash.
No, I said I like the concept. I think if it's got some health benefits that you can attract to it, like post some testing, I think that'd be the really good promoter to come back and say, look, oranges provide vitamin C. This one provides something else that's so good for you, like. All of a sudden, all this kale and stuff came out. When I grew up, kale didn't exist.
That's right.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'd like to try it if you can find it, Kev.
Yeah, it's just. I think the biggest challenge is going to be just because it's a new introduced species as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not grown in Australia. Then getting the seeds into Australia, that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And then. Because if it's an invasive thing, then we're screwed.
Can you make it like tang? Can you like dehydrate it and put it into like a powdered form and then add water? Sort of. Do you remember tang?
Yeah. I guess we could do that. Like, or we can just sort of like get them manufactured
over there.
Yeah, and then just import it.
So set up the business over there, and just bring the little packets over and sell it.
And then just export it, but like to that sort of level of quality that you would want to export it to. And then just market it as that health fad. Oh yeah, it's got 60% more vitamin C than your standard orange juice. And
we'll pull the Ribena. That's what we're talking about. Until some Kiwi pulls us up.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess you do that. But the biggest challenge is it's going to be growing it in Australia.
Yeah, I think like in terms of business prospects, I think we pretty much just hit the nail on the head there. It'll be like an overseas type business, so it'll be grown and packaged and manufactured over there, and then imported and sold here, most likely in like dehydrated packets.
Or you can just get an export license for someone who already does that and just export it here into those kind of.
Put it inside the Mustang. So we've got that. Load it up.
And then we sell it through the food app idea.
Yeah.
Deliver it to people's houses. And then we give everyone a kid's book with it.
Each pack comes with a book and then
and a beer.
There's an AI that checks to make sure your glass is clean, not next to a table before you drink it.
and the brewery puts it into a can if you want to have it ready to drink with you. So we're all sorted.
Walk out with 6 ideas.
We're in for a gold idea. Hey,
poor John hasn't got his beer yet.
That's right.
Here you go, mate. Here's a Mosambi, whatever he is. Banjo beers.
John's going to throw a cultural comment again. What is this in? Hey,
can I have some more, babe? Oh no, I said Mosambi, not Mosambi.
Hey, I had an observation actually as we wrap up the business ideas. We'll move to the rest of it. I walked in at Ari's birthday, Shaz, on the weekend. Usually I'm used to seeing all the guys with beers in their hand. And lo and behold, the guys had coffees in their hand. And I was commenting with Dana's dad. I was like, our lives have changed so much because usually at this point, the guys are 1 or 2 beers down. But now they're drinking coffee, sipping on water. How our lives have changed, eh?
And I think just on that too, like obviously all of Daniel's family last time they saw us we were at the dance floor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see a transition. little mini kids running around and us with just coffees. It's like these guys.
One of our brothers was like, "Last time you guys were like, eh." Like, mate, even seeing that gives me a hangover now.
Yes, tons have changed, eh?
It's a sad reality, but Dana's dad did assure me that at some point it all comes back. He actually said on the weekend he was out with his mate getting a few drinks in. So looking forward to when we're all 60, guys.